Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel where we talk about Microsoft Fabric and Power BI. Today we focus on the data warehouse in Microsoft Fabric. I've already made an introductory video about the warehouse, how to ingest data into it and build a Power BI report off of it. But in this video we will talk more about the features of the warehouse, test its performance using a few relatively heavy SQL queries, and then quickly look at the direct lake mode, which previously was not available in the warehouse. First, let's quickly understand the distinction between Lakehouse and data warehouse in Microsoft Fabric. Essentially, a Lakehouse combines the features of both a data lake and a data warehouse. It is designed to handle both structured and unstructured data, making it versatile for different data scenarios. For example, a company dealing with varied data types, from sensor data to JSON to financial records, would find the Lakehouse ideal due to its flexibility in handling different data formats and its robust analytical capabilities. On the other hand, a data warehouse in Fabric is more structured and tailored for storing processed data, ideal for cases that require quick and efficient data analysis. Think of a retail store analyzing sales and customer trends. Here, a data warehouse provides the structured environment needed for such analytics. Files in the Fabric warehouse are stored in Delta-Parquet, an open-source format that ensures data integrity, optimizes storage, and accelerates operations. This Delta-Parquet format is ideal for businesses dealing with time series data, like financial services. Delta-Parquet allows for handling large volumes of sequential data, ensuring integrity and quick access. Using the Delta-Parquet standard, Fabric ensures interoperability without having to move data. This open standard helps to collaborate across different platforms, essential for businesses integrating multiple data sources. In this case, you have all your data in one universal format in one lake, and there's no need to convert back and forth and back and forth. As a fully managed SaaS solution, software as a service, Microsoft Fabric Data Warehouse offers advantages over traditional on-prem warehouses. It reduces the need for managing infrastructure, ensures automatic updates, and adapts quickly to varying data loads. In the Fabric warehouse, resources are allocated based on job requests, adopting a pay-for-what-you-use model. This approach is cost-effective for companies with fluctuating data processing needs, like e-commerce platforms with varying traffic. Lastly, Warehouse provides separation between the storage and computing resources. Separating storage and compute nodes offers enhanced scalability, cost efficiency by avoiding payment for idle resources, and flexibility in handling diverse analytical workloads. This feature is useful for businesses with seasonal data demands. Cross-querying in Fabric allows users to perform queries across different data sources and formats, integrating different and separate data seamlessly. This capability is a significant advantage for organizations that need to combine data from different departments or systems. For example, a company could merge customer interaction data from a CRM system with transactions data from a sales system. Security in the data warehouse includes advanced encryption, role-based access, and Microsoft Fabric permissions with granular SQL controls. Let's take a look at some of the security features. Role-based access and workspace roles. You can control access through different roles like admin and viewer. Granular T-SQL permissions. Here you can manage access to database objects, columns, and rows, enhancing data privacy and control. Dynamic data masking. Using this security feature, you can protect sensitive data by masking it in query results, ensuring privacy without changing the underlying data source. Think of credit card numbers or bank account numbers. This security framework ensures that sensitive data in the warehouse is securely managed and compliant with industry standards. Microsoft Fabric Data Warehouse is designed to scale with your business needs. Whether you're dealing with gigabytes or petabytes of data, the warehouse can handle all of that with ease, ensuring that your data infrastructure grows with your business. This scalability is essential for businesses experiencing rapid growth, or those companies with fluctuating data processing needs. Obviously, this goes together with cost effectiveness. With Fabric's pay-as-you-go pricing model, companies only pay for the storage and computing resources that they use. That being said, let's go to my computer screen and continue from here. This is the warehouse that I created in my first introduction video about the warehouse. Please go ahead and watch that to learn how to import data into the warehouse. Essentially, there are two ways that you can import data. First is a data flow Gen 2, which is the Power Query experience. And the second one is a data factory pipeline. You can also, of course, create tables and import data using SQL scripts, but in reality, you probably will not be importing a bunch of data that way. So here I have 3 sample tables on the motorcycle sales from my last video, in which I tested the direct lake performance using a $3 million table. Sorry, not dollars, of course, but 3 million rows. It was definitely a Freudian slip. So either way, I used a data flow, right, to get the data into the warehouse. And that actually took around 40 minutes to do that because the fact table has 3 million rows, so it's a pretty big table. Well, it's not a huge table, but it has a significant number of rows, right? So what we are going to do next is to test 3 SQL queries that I have. These are not overly complex statements, but they will nonetheless make the engine work because I have a few different joins, window functions, and calculations. So we can see the performance of a warehouse, right? So let me start with the first query. Let me grab this from my notes. And here's the first query. And here what I'm doing is I'm joining all of the 3 tables and then I'm grouping them by year, category, and brand. Before doing this, what I wanted to do is, it actually starts running. I wanted to do the count and show you how many rows that I have, right, in this table. Let me do this now. Select, I will do count of all from the table called motor sample fact sales 3M, right? And then do this so I can separate the query. So I have 3 million rows, right? Now, if I run this query, it took me even faster, right? This time, right? The last time it was around 4 seconds, I believe. And now it's less than 2 seconds. And here's what I did. So performance of the warehouse is pretty good, considering that I'm joining 3 different tables and I'm using a fact table with 3 million rows. Even the first time I used the query, it was less than 4 seconds. In Management Studio, if I used a standard Management Studio, it would have been a lot longer than this. All right, so let me save this one here and I can rename it as a test query 1. That should be it. Now let's do another query. So I'll open another query and then I will be using one of my other queries. So I'll do this, paste it in here. So here what I'm doing is I will be ranking the sales based on the brand. So we have a window function here. You can see right here, right? So it's a subquery inside a query. Let's test this one here. And again, less than 2 seconds. This is pretty fast. What I'm doing, I'm ranking the brand of motorcycles. So I can see that all of my brands in here. Here are standard options, right? You can save this query as a table, so you don't have to do this, again. You can download this Excel file and then send it to someone else. Something tells me that you'll be doing that a lot more than you should. Let me rename this as a test query number 2. And last query that I have, let me grab that from my notes. That one has new query. This one actually has a cross join, a window function, and then I'm also using this cast. I'm also using the cast function because when I tried this without the cast function before, I had an error because the number that I had was way too high for a regular integer to handle it. I changed it to a big int and a decimal. So let's run this one here. It's 3 seconds now, 4 seconds. It's 5 seconds. And here's the query result. I have the product. And I'm calculating the percentage total. Of course, the formatting, don't worry about formatting. It's just a horrible formatting. You will not do this in reality, of course. You'll be using the roundup functions. So you have a product here, and you have a total quantity sold, average price, and percentage of total sales. Having used the SQL statements, we saw that the data warehouse performs very well with large data sets. Even when there are 3 million rows, when it has to do joins, subqueries, and math calculations. I mean, 5 seconds was the longest that it took the query to perform, right? I think it's pretty good. Now let's talk about direct lake mode. This feature is now available in the warehouse. So if I go to the model view, right, I can see that this is now, the storage mode says that it's direct lake. I'm not exactly sure when the direct lake mode became available for warehouse, but last October when I was making my previous video about the warehouse, the direct lake mode was not available here. That being said, unfortunately, the direct lake mode is not available from Power BI Desktop. So if I opened my Power BI Desktop, let me do this. All right, so here's my Power BI Desktop. And what I will do if I connect it to my warehouse right here, and then this one here, and then I'll do connect. I connect it to the model, right? To the same table, all of the same tables that I have in my warehouse right here. And if I go to the model view, I will see right away that these lines are now all solid blue, as opposed to these white and blue diagonal lines right here. These are direct lake, and these are analysis services, basically. This is not direct lake. I'm honestly expecting Microsoft to introduce the direct lake mode from Power BI Desktop, right? So we can connect to our data sets using direct lake mode from Power BI Desktop. I personally like using Power BI Desktop, and I think a lot of people do. The only way for now to use direct lake mode is from the Power BI browser version. So now I'm back here. Let me find my tables right here. These are the 3 tables that I imported. Don't worry about these system tables that got imported with the other tables, when I was importing them. So I just kind of hid them. They shouldn't be seen in my reporting view. So what I am going to do now, right, I will build relationships between these 3 tables. Let me move a little bit up here. All right. So I connected my tables. What I can do, I will click to my fact table, and then I create a quick little measure. Let me do new measure, and then that's going to be sales measure. Let me call this sales measure, and this is going to be just a simple sum of my sales amount column. All right, the measure is now created. I'll go to properties and format this as currency. Now I have the 1000 separator here. In the Lakehouse experience, I couldn't find the 1000 separator a couple weeks ago. Now it's good. And the decimal is going to be 0. I don't want to have way too many decimals for this one. And after that, I'll just click new report. And this will open the Power BI experience in the desktop. Something went wrong. I don't know what that is exactly. So I'll go back to my warehouse here for a second. I just want to create another measure. So I'll go to my fact table, and then I'll create a new measure. This time it's going to be number of items, and that is going to be count, and I will be counting transaction IDs, right? Counting this one here and then grab, it's going to be a whole number, 1,000 separator, perfect. Decimal place is 0, and then I'll go back to my report. So then I can start building my report, right? So I don't want to spend too much time on this one. Just going to grab my measures, grab a couple cards, one. So one card, I'm going to put the sales measure. The other one is going to be the count of sales. Formatting isn't the best, so I'm going to go to a call out value and then change this to none. And then this is going to be the same thing. All right. So I have 3 million rows, right? 3 million items were sold. And then this is the number of sales that I had. All right, that's it for today. To sum up, the Fabric Warehouse excels in managing diverse and large data with cost efficiency and robust security. It can improve your operations with flexibility, scalable architecture, which is perfect for today's dynamic data needs. Please give us a like, don't forget to subscribe, and stay tuned for more insights. I'll talk to you later.